Okay, so here we are on part 4 of the Genesis playthrough. I recorded this about a day ago, and the audio was horrible, so I didn't want to use that recording. So I did start this over, moving my Player 1 start to where I started part 4 in an Ultimate Doom Builder. I'm just going to run through it real quick, just to basically show what was going on here in the next few areas. And then I will skip over to my save, which is current with all of the correct weapons and items, whereas I did an IDKFA on this one. So I'll try to make this a little quicker because, frankly, I really don't want to play this again. More than I have to. So we've got kind of a tech-based area going on down here. There's some pretty obvious secrets. Some of the secrets I'm a little annoyed with because they really don't give you much. But we have come to expect at this point that my secrets weren't always really worth being called secrets. In terms of difficulty, this area is a little bit sketchy. When I was testing the map, this is probably where I died more than anywhere else. When I ran through it last night, I did make it without dying. It wasn't too bad. But I did kind of shoehorn a lot of monsters in here. So, I believe this opens a secret down here. Or no, this was already open. There's another secret here. And this is going to take us up to the other shotgun guy area up here. Which, literally, nothing here except for the shotguns from the dead shotgun guys. So, whether that's worth being called a secret or not, I don't think so. About him. Tons of texture misalignment down here. This is not a hard texture to align either. And there's really no point to this area other than just to come down here and get a secret, I guess. This room's not terrible. Then I believe this opens this door. No, it opens something. I think. I think it's fundamentally well built, this area. It's very cramped, like I did a lot of non-symmetrical, just kind of placing rooms and linking them together with doors. I think it was an upgrade from my previous, from some of the previous areas, which were a little overly symmetrical. See, this is kind of a secret area that kind of gives you some stuff that was worth finding the secret, I think. No huge power-ups or anything, but it's better than a couple of ammo clips. So this is not going to open yet, and we want to get up there. But get rid of these guys. Would have been nice if I would have used a little bit of texture variation, other than just the metal texture through the entire area. I really need some help. Looks like I put some health up there. One of the things I learned in Doom mapping over the past several months, and most people probably learn early on, is playing your map as you is a much different experience than how other people are going to play it. You may know where everything is, so you don't put enough health down, you don't put enough ammo down, you don't put enough items down, because you're expecting everything. There is no element of surprise. There's no getting caught off guard and losing health and losing armor, so you have to really learn to play it as far removed from being the creator as you can. I guess. Kind of rambling there, but you know what I mean. It's a total... That's why you get people to playtest, and with this map and several of the other ones after this map, I did not get anybody to playtest. I just put it out because I thought I knew everything, So I kind of like this here. This takes us back up to the top of the chasm. Obviously all the enemies are here because I started in this area. We're going to go back in here. This takes us right back into the area. It's just linked together. I did always like that part. If you can get the right momentum there, you can basically just barrel down over those guys, which is kind of fun with a super shotgun. This is a mistake here as well. This will open some doors for a trap, but unless you jump, you can't get out. I probably didn't know the limit of the jump, which is, or the step, which is probably 24, I think? 20 or 24? Otherwise, there's nothing too exciting here. I guess this guy's stuck. Something else you would notice if you let somebody play test your map. So this should be open now. There we go. And this will take us into a very imaginative area with a bunch of former humans. There was a little bit of humor going on here. If you go to each of these pathways, you see there's just an army of these guys. And the last one, there's one. I don't think anybody would have found that as funny as I found it when I made it. But frankly, it's just kind of boring because I already played through this. And it wasn't very good the first time. And there's a good bit of stuff left to go. I don't hate the lighting here. It doesn't look too bad. Again, no variation in textures. Could have done a little better with that. So we will cross the line. The pillars drop, the imps come down. We'll go up here. I'm a little surprised I use this kind of lighting here. This is very unlike me. I was never too big into sector lights. I don't think it looks too bad, actually. I generally prefer to use the dynamic light items, or things, I suppose. Alright. So I covered this when I originally recorded the video, but I do kind of like this area. And you'll see why in a second. It's probably more annoying for a player, but kind of fun for the creator instead. And it's an idea that I would probably have fallen in love with, but the player would have been like, oh, really? Yay. And you'll see why in a second. So we're going to go in here, and we have a blue armor in here, I believe. Yes. A couple Hell Knights. I like the water thing that I did here. Of course, since then, I've obviously learned how to use 3D texture, or 3D sector model water, which I try not to use ad nauseum, but I think those who played my maps might say that I do. So, now this one's open, and we're going to go back through the same area in blue. How about that? Different enemies, of course, but this continues my trend of playing with colors that are way too overwhelming and saturated. I do love how the Cacodemons look in blue. Soul Sphere, some rockets. We're almost done with the playthrough part 4. The replay through part 4. So that opens this door. We go in here. And that takes us back to the tech base area and lowers the gate. And there's an interesting part in here, but otherwise this is basically a maze. Little hell pit in here. I don't mind this area. It looks kind of cool. I think it's pretty basic, but I don't hate it. And there's tons of secrets in these hallways. Continuing my trend of secrets that are useless, like an invisibility sphere. Hey, look, I realize that most people, or some people might like them, but I never pick them up. We'll check what my actual secret count was in part 5. Alright, so this is an area I made for messing around with line set portal. It works, I guess, but it's probably not necessary, like many of the things in this entire map. So we're gonna cross this. And it's gonna put us here, and then we can't get back out. You can see a dead marine here, so obviously nothing good's gonna happen. We have a spider demon here, guarding the BFG. She's obviously not hard. You can just hide behind this pillar, and she can't get behind the pillar. So... Oh, and I left the BFG. Well, that doesn't matter. This is just a replay through this anyway. I did pick it up on my other playthrough. Hell Knight. So you likely just picked up a blue armor, and unless the spider demon shredded you, there should be no reason for you to need a green armor. Where am I at? I would rather not wander around in here all day. More sergeants. The worst thing about playing this area again is knowing what comes next, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute. This room is fine. It could be worse. It's structurally sound. Nothing too exciting. You can pull a wall down here over for a secret to go down and see the imps in this area. And there is some good stuff in here, so I would consider this a solid secret. I believe you have to shoot this. Yep. Okay, so I'm not terribly proud of this next area, but we're going to go through it, and I'm certainly not going to dwell on it, because it is very large and very annoying, possibly more so than the Arachnotron cubicle farm. Not quite sure how far down this was. This might have been negative 2056. It might have been more. So I've done areas like this before, and they're typically not very well received. But when you add stuff like maybe different music or cutting out the music, areas like this can be effective, as long as they're not overly long. I know where to go, so there is nothing to see here. There are no items, there are no secrets, it is just this. And you stumble around until you find the right way to go. I think it's this way. Right here, I think. Oh, I don't remember this. Oh, okay. See, that's a little creepy. I kind of like that. But again, the whole area is not really... I think the switch is over here. Can you imagine, like, not knowing where to go? So, this is going to turn the lights on. Thank God. It's going to spawn some imps, which is annoying, because nobody's going to stay here and fight a bunch of imps. Look at this. This is literally the same thing. I don't know what I was doing here. I don't know if I was trying to do a back rooms of some sort or what. What we need to do is go back to the entrance. I'm just going to keep it on the auto map. And it's going to spawn some mancubi. Hit this switch here. If I can remember which way to go. And that's it. This entire area. There's at least 2 more cubes here. Full of squares. And there's nothing to find here. Nothing. It's very possible I put an item or two in there, but that would be it. So, I don't know what I was shooting for there. That could be an entire level for some people, but it's just one tiny little drop in the bucket for this entire pile of nonsense. So, then we come to kind of like a respite area here. You can get some goodies, which I really don't need with my IDKFA replay through here, so we'll just grab what we can. I don't hate this area here, and I'll tell you why, because this kind of speaks to part of what my future style would be. I've become really big on areas with partial sky view and partial ceiling textures with depth to it, with depth to the ceiling texture, beams coming in. These days I would probably put support beams around the side. I would probably use more than one texture in the entire area. But this was okay. I was pretty proud of this area. All right, that covers what we missed in the video where I screwed up the audio. So after this, I will be picking up from my real save. Thanks for watching.